high-level archaeologists got to Turkey and began to research what a farmer had stumbled into on his own land, which was a gigantic pillar underground, and they began to dig out Göbekli Tepe and dated it 13,000 years. So that pushed humanity back 13,000 years, which we know it even goes way further back than that, and mainstream had to acknowledge it because they were legitimate archaeologists, and there was no way to get around this. There was no way for them to lie, cover it up. It was too late. The cat was already out of the bag. And so they begin to dig, and it just keeps going and going and going. The more you dig, the more you find. And these megalithic pillars are there, and these pillars have etchings carved into them in 3D. Some are dinosaurs. One is Thoth from ancient Egypt. And you're going, wait a minute. Even some animals that are on these pillars are not even from the region of that area of Turkey. 10, 15, 20-foot stone pillars weighing anywhere from 50 tons to 100 tons. We're talking about a circular rotation of these pillars. The orientation of the pillars, they complete the Fibonacci sequence, mathematics. They're telling the history of life on Earth by actually etching in these animals, and of course, Thoth the Atlantean to bring up knowledge around the world. We know now because he's on there, there's part of Atlantis, and here's what's really crazy. The more they dug, the more they found, and they kept saying, how much more is there? So they started doing ground-penetrating radar scans. They discovered that the sand that buried the rest of the entire site isn't from that place. It's from about 400 miles away. This lines up with something very interesting in the Sumerian tablets. It talks about this pyramid war that was happening. The Anunnaki were battling each other. Anunnaki are the beings that came from heaven to earth. Atlantis is the civilization that they built. During this war, they talk about the fact that these weapons have been used, these weapons of mass destruction. A lot of the structures in the surrounding region have been discovered recently to be vitrified, which means 3,000 degrees plus temperature that turns stone and sand into glass. We have the physical evidence that there was a war in these Sumerian tablets. It goes on to talk about how they began to flee the planet, but they also went to remove technology and disable technology all around the earth before they got out of here. So that's why the tops of most of the pyramids, the actual capstones, missing, taken off on purpose. There's 200 more pyramids at Giza that are buried with sand. Göbekli Tepe buried with sand from somewhere else. They went and got sand and dumped it on top of Göbekli Tepe to cover it up. They started going around erasing, breaking the stone technology so that it couldn't function. And that tells me that Göbekli Tepe has a technological function. These people were masters at turning stone into technology, and there's some technological function at Göbekli Tepe, and we're going to discover exactly what that is, I guarantee.